Who Dey Nation, what's going on? It is your boy Ace Boogie, and welcome to Q&Ace. If this is your first time here, this is New Stripe City. It's a place for diehard Bengals fans. We pretty much do interviews, we do Q&A segments, we do all kinds of stuff here. So if you're new here, please be sure to subscribe. If you're returning diehard, appreciate you guys and thank you for all of the support. We've got some special things going on today. Before I get into it, though, what we want to start with first is the way that you can send these questions in. We prefer to get the video questions if you can. We like to make it a little bit different. We don't like you guys just sending us stuff on Twitter. So there's a free way for you to send in your question and make an appearance on the channel. And you do that by downloading the Flick Sports app. But I'm going to go ahead and play this video so that you know exactly how to do that. But that is the preferred way that you can do it. Now, you can still get your question answered here. However, it has to be a super chat. And that helps support the channel, and that makes this segment as special as possible. So before I get into everything, I've got that. I've also got a special announcement as well. So stay tuned for that. But this is Q&Ace. So the first thing you're going to want to do is download the Flick Sports app from your app store. Once you do that, you're going to get prompted to log in. There's a bunch of different ways that you can log in. Choose whichever one suits you. Once you're in the app, you're going to have to add the New Stripe City Flick group. So you'll see that. You'll be able to search for it. Once you're in, you're going to want to find what is called the Q&Ace chat. Next, you'll want to read those instructions there. You want to submit a video here. You also want to give your name and where you're from and keep it between 15 to 30 seconds. And please, no profanity. Once that's done, you'll go ahead and submit that. I will get it and I will post your video on the show. Thank you. So those are the instructions for Q&Ace. We appreciate you guys for rocking with us. Before we get into these questions, we had a special launching that we just did before the show. I kind of put out some stuff out on my Twitter, and I've been working with a company called Alive Shoes. And essentially what they had me do was design a shoe for you guys. That's right. I designed my own Bengals themed shoe. It's called the AB1. The company that I have is called Tiger. So what I'm going to do now is just go ahead and do a promo for that so you guys can check it out. And essentially the way that it works is if I get 7 pre-orders from you guys, essentially we can go to production. So they won't produce the shoe until we receive 7 pre-orders. Once we receive the 7 pre-orders on the shoe, they'll start making them and they'll start sending the ones out and they'll start making their rounds. Now, I don't control the price or anything like that. If you have seen the price, it seems like it is somewhat pricey a little bit. We'll see. I mean, depending on how much you really pay for your stickers, that kind of depends on it. But what it is, one thing I will tell you is it is a quality shoe. It is real Italian leather. It is free shipping. So I will go ahead and show you guys the shoes, and it just really helps, and it definitely. So let me go ahead and play this. So yeah, man, those are the shoes. I hope you guys like them. I'm just huge into sneakers myself. So designing a shoe, I never thought that would be an opportunity for me. But enough about me. Let's get into the Q&A. So first up, we have my man Sean here for Q&Ace.
Sean from Cincinnati. I'm wondering, because the Bengals and Steelers both drafted wide receivers in the second round, who do you think will have a bigger game this weekend? Chase Claypool or T. Higgins?
That's a tough one there. Chase Claypool or T. Higgins. I think the way that this game could go, I want to say T. Higgins, but Chase Claypool definitely worries me, especially when you talk about the Steelers and when you talk about the receivers that will not be across from William Jackson III, right? And we've seen Chase Claypool just tear open games. I'm going to say that I think Chase Claypool, and it's hard to say, like, because what if T. Higgins has 100 yards but doesn't score a touchdown, and Chase Claypool has like 40 receiving yards but catches 2 touchdowns? It's really hard to say who really had a better game. But in this event, I'm going to say that it's going to be Chase Claypool, because I think with the Bengals having so many issues with Darius Phillips not being 100% healthy and William Jackson coming back, and he's probably going to be on Deontay Johnson, I think that is going to spell trouble for the Bengals. And then also after that, it seems that LaShawn Sims is not going to be playing in this game. So I'm not sure exactly who they have after him. They don't have Trey Waynes. So I would probably, unfortunately, have to say Chase Claypool. Let's get into our second one from my guy Dylan. I'll go ahead and play this on him.
From Ohio, do you think AJ Green will get his extension he wants next year?
That's a great question, Dylan. He asks, will AJ Green get the extension that he wants next year? I think that I would love to see him retire in stripes, right? And we don't know exactly what AJ is commanding. I think if it's a fair deal for both sides, I think that the Bengals would be willing to pay AJ, but it has to be something that works for both sides, right? They have to understand that he's not a guy that you could pay $20 million next year just based off of what we've seen. I don't think that that's all his fault. I think that it's him getting accustomed to playing with Joe Burrow, obviously. I would love to keep him here. I mean, I would love to keep AJ Green. It's no secret. If you watch this channel, I'm a huge AJ Green fan, and it says more about the culture of Cincinnati. To be able to keep a player in stripes for their foreseeable career is something that the Bengals have not done yet. And I think that it's something that starts to establish this culture, right? Like, just think about that. You have Joseph Burrow right now, Joey B, and imagine him not retiring a Bengal. Can you imagine that? Like, AJ Green, was a franchise player for this team and just this organization for so many years. It's just the right thing to do. Now, like I said, that doesn't mean you give him $20 million a year or anything like that, but you do make sure that he is taken care of. So with that said, yes, I would definitely give him a contract, and I don't know if he's going to get what he wants. And I don't think, you guys have seen AJ on this channel. He's just a guy. He's not really motivated by money. But it has to be something that's at least respectful, I would say, because, he's just not going to take anything. It's going to have to be something that's respectable by both sides. And I think that there's an understanding there. And I think when we saw him get interviewed earlier this year after he signed the franchise deal, I think that it was something where there was a respect for both sides. So we'll have to see how that plays out. And I have some other ones that just came in here. Since they were sent after the deadline, I can't show the video, but I definitely can play them. So I'm going to go ahead and play them. The second one here is from my man Hunt 'em Down. He actually just submitted it in the Flick chat. Be sure to check out the Flick chat for sure to submit it.
Yo, hopefully you can hear me now, man. I'm just congratulations once again. Quick question. Win tomorrow. Where does your fandom for the rest of the year goes right there? What is your expectations for the rest of the year? But if we lose, like we lost against the Ravens, does that kill your high that you had after the Titans game?
Man, I think if like what he said is, if we win, what does that do for my fandom? If we lose, like we did against the Ravens, what does that do for my fandom? And that was my guy added a natty, Ray Will. Ray, I'm going to say that I think if the Bengals win this game, I think everybody is going to be a bolt of energy that blasts through this fan base that's ready for him and well, not ready for him, but ready for this team to see if they can actually make this push for the playoffs, right? Now, that's a hard thing to kind of do. Like, that's being realistic, they really don't have much of a shot at it, being that there's so many teams that have more wins. But there's still 8 games left. Anything can happen. I think the biggest thing that has to happen for the playoff thing to be a possibility is not only do they have to win the Steelers game and continue to beat the lesser teams, I think they also need to have the situation where the playoffs are altered and they let an 8th team in. If they let an 8th team in, I think the Bengals can do it. But if they do lose this game like the Ravens I'm not going to say that I lose my fandom or anything like that, or that it's going to go down dramatically. It would probably be something that I kind of expected in terms of this pass rush versus this offense. Now, it definitely takes you out of the mindset of thinking that the Bengals can make the playoffs, but I think that, it's to be expected. This is a team that's 8-0 in Pittsburgh. This is the first time that you're playing them. You have a huge weakness there in terms of the offensive line versus their strength. So if they do lose like that, that would suck. I'm not going to lie, because they didn't really score much in that Ravens game. But let's just say they get sacked 10 times, but they at least put up 14 or 20 points. Then I don't think that you're as upset. But, that's a realistic thing to look at. Shout out to King Vortex. He is a member here. Appreciate you, bro. You can join the new Stripe City membership. It is something that you can subscribe to. We have the CMB level, we have the paid in full levels, and it gives you all kind of perks that you're not going to be privy to. T. Higgins video, I have that. That's actually a members only video. Also, we released the shoes, right? And I talked about people receiving promo codes and stuff like that. There will be members that will receive promo codes to get some discounts off of the shoes if you do decide to do a pre-order. So stay tuned for that. The only way that you will see any of that information if you are a member. That's the only way that you can see it. So let's go ahead and get into another one. We got another one here from my guy, Hunt Him Down 5. I'm going to go ahead and let his question play.
Hi, it's Central from Kansas. And how many wins do you think we'll have the rest of the season? Because I think we're having maybe 6. And I'm hoping it starts with this next pig game, because I think that can start a winning streak. So what did you think about that?
Man, dope to see that the guy's from Kansas, man. He was actually here on the last show. If you guys watched, that's Hunt Him Down 5, and it looks like he's from Kansas. Where do I see the win total, man? You guys are bringing some questions. So right now the Bengals are 2-5-1, I believe. So I think that they could squeeze 8-7-1. I really, truly think that they could do that. They would have to go and win 6 of the last 8. But let's say, for instance, they can't do that, right? And they win 5. I think maybe they win 5 of this stretch, right? 5 of their last 8. That puts them at 7 wins. I'm comfortable with saying that they could win 7 games. 7 games this season, 7-8-1. I think that's enough for Zach to keep his job. I think that's something to build on. And I think it's just dope. Elliot Sheridan is asking, when is the dad hat going to drop? This will be dropping soon. It definitely will be dropping soon. We're going to see how some of this merch moves. We've got the shoes out now. We've got the mugs out now. If you don't know, the new Stripe City mugs are out. There is a link in the description for those. As you can see, it's got the orange handle. It's white. It's got the orange inside. There is shipping included in that. But the hats are going to have to come soon. We'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see how these mugs do. And if the mugs do decent and okay, then we'll go ahead and try to put these hats out. Give me a thumbs up in the comments if you like the hat. Some people say they want the snapback. I like kind of the different style. I like both styles, honestly, but I just really like this hat, and I like what it brings to the channel for sure. So with that being said, let me go ahead and go through our text-only ones from the Flick chat. Let's see here. Dylan is asking, what do you think the final score will be against the Steelers? I think that the Bengals can win this game. I'm going to say Bengals 33, Steelers 30. All right, got another one here from Lord Ja, Eli B. Q&A for Ace. From what you've seen so far, do you already believe Joe Burrow will go down as the best quarterback in franchise history? That's a trick question. From what I've seen so far, I can't say that just based off of the number of games that we've seen, right? We've only seen really 8 games. No, I can't say that because that would be disrespectful to guys like Boomer Esiason. It would be disrespectful to Ken Anderson. Even Carson Palmer to a point. So I think that he at least has to get us to the playoffs, right? I think if he gets us to the playoffs and he wins a playoff game, I think that he definitely, for some people, may be close to that. But I think that you have to respect the legends. You have to respect what Boomer did. You have to respect what Ken Anderson did. You have to respect what Jeff Blake did, Carson Palmer, all of these guys. That's not to say that he couldn't end up that. But I think that it's a wait and see. I think it's too early to say that right now. Andy Dalton as well. How could I forget him? So, yeah, he's got to have the numbers to back it up and the accomplishments to back it up before I can fully give it to him. Do I think that he has a chance? Oh, yeah, for sure. It's Joey B. Another one here from Aaron Shockey. Do you believe that the coaching staff needs to be evaluated? Is Zach the coach of our future, or do you believe the team will move on from him? I think the coaching staff definitely needs to be evaluated. You have to start on defense. You guys know I tried to say that I thought Lou Anarumu, I liked him. He has made me look bad on that one. They definitely need to evaluate that. The staff in general. I think Zach is improving. I think that he's shown some improvement in the recent games. But this last stretch, this is literally his job right here. So I think that determining on how he finishes the end of the season, that's going to determine how the future of the staff looks, period. Whether these guys are going to stay, whether Zach's going to go, that's going to determine it all. So that's what I would say. Andy is asking, what would you grade Zach Taylor's second rookie draft class so far? I think, so I have to go back and think about that. Joe Burrow doesn't really count. That's a toss-up. Anybody that would have been here would have drafted Joe Burrow. So then you have to get into the later rounds. T. Higgins, that was a home run pick. Logan Wilson, that was a great pick. You talk about, I'm thinking everyone that was in this draft. You talk about Khalid Kareem. You talk about Akeem Davis-Gaither. You talk about Hakeem, who played admirably last week. I think you have to give it an A right now. I mean, even with the Joe Burrow one, I think that you have to give it an A. The only thing that I wish is that they would have possibly have gotten more offensive linemen. But, I mean, obviously, Hakeem is definitely doing his thing. All right, another one here from Andrew. Do you think William Jackson will have a breakout game in the next few weeks? By breakout game, I'm not sure what you mean. I don't know if you mean, Andrew, if you mean that he's going to have more interceptions or he's going to have something like that. I think he's already having a great season so far. I don't know exactly what a breakout game from William Jackson would really look like. Yeah, I would probably say maybe in the next few weeks he will, because the Bengals are going to play some bad teams. So there could be one where he will get an interception, or maybe he might get a pick six. Who knows? We'll have to see. And we have another one here from Jay Toaster. And he says, if we beat the Steelers, in your opinion, is this a wild card team? Yes, I think that they can, because the Steelers are one of the, I mean, they have to play the Steelers twice. Don't forget that. I think that they can at least split with them. I don't think that they can beat the Steelers twice. And if they don't and they get swept, then obviously this is not a wild card team. But yes, I think that this could be a wild card team, because there are a lot of losses that they have that weren't really losses. And I mean, obviously they are losses in the L column. But when I say that, you know, a decision here, a decision there, you're looking at a couple more wins there. And that's not just a homer thing. It's just being realistic, just watching these games. AA Ron 001 is asking, if you were GM, what moves would you make? I mean, it's hard to say, because right now the trade deadline has passed. One move that I would have made, I would have definitely have traded for Evan Ingram. I did a video on that. I definitely would have traded for him and brought him in. I mean, maybe I would have tried to look at what the asking price for Williams was, Quinnen Williams with the New. I definitely would have traded John Ross. I'll tell you that. So yeah, that's what I would have done if I were the GM. Aaron Shockey again asked, do you think if the Bengals win some games the rest of the year that the front office will keep Zach on board? Yeah. Yes, definitely. And another one from Mahalomis says, if Tack turns out to be a bright spot for our pass rush, will we give him an extension for the future? Yeah, I think so. But it depends on how much that money is, especially being that you have to kind of see whether or not the price is going to be too demanding. I mean, off of 8 games with him only having a sack, it kind of gives you an advantage if you're the Bengals. So let's just say he gets, let's say 6 sacks, right? Which is probably not going to happen, 6 sacks in 8 games. But let's just say he gets 6 sacks. I think that you can still go in and say, hey, let's look at this. This is what we're offering Carl. This is what we're offering you. Depending on who takes it. They did that before with Michael Johnson and Carlos Dunlap. I could see them doing it again. So we'll have to see. But it gives them the opportunity to see him up close and know what they're kind of getting into. So it looks like we also have a couple of more videos that have come in. So I'm going to go ahead and play the audio from those, and we'll see what we got. We got my man Zach Easel, I believe, here.
Hello, this is Zach from Ohio, and I was wondering, what do you think the Bengals can do to get a pass rush?
Oh, man, Zach, that's a great question, bro. That's a great question. I think one of the things that they did do is they went out and got to Cars McKinley. That was definitely smart. Maybe they look at or kick tires on Vic Beasley or any of the guys that may be free agents out there and see what they can do. But I think that they also need to blitz, Zach. I think that they need to find creative ways to just get some pressure on the passers. I agree with you. I think that that's definitely a valid thing that they need to look into and that they should do something about. I think you definitely need to start tack. I think you definitely need to do some creative things. And maybe you need to send corner blitzes. Maybe you need to send safety blitzes. I don't know. They need to do something different for sure. Got another one here from Drewski Bengals for life. Who's currently the best player on the team right now? That is a great question because you could probably say Tyler Boyd. You could probably say Jesse Bates. There's a lot of guys. You could say Joe Burrow. Jesse Bates is my guy. Don't take this the wrong way. I think that he's the number 1 safety in the league right now. But when you talk about lifting and elevating this team, it's nothing against Jesse because as a safety, he can only do so much. Tyler Boyd as a receiver, he can only do so much. I think that it may be Joe Burrow. And I say that because Joe Burrow can single-handedly keep you in games. Now, that's not to say that my guy TB, you guys know I love TB. I love Jesse Bates, the Bates Motel. But I have to give it to, I have to give it to Burrow just because of the position. If you take the position out of it, it's Jesse Bates. I think it's Burrow and Boyd. I think that those are them. Let me think about this. Carl Lawson is in the mix there. William Jackson III is in the mix there. Joe Mixon is always in the mix there. But with him being hurt right now, I don't know if you mean just period or what. But all of those guys, I would say, are in the mix right now for the best player on the team for sure. So with that being said, if there aren't any super chats, that will conclude this week's Q&A's. Don't forget that you can submit your questions for Q&A's through the Flick Sports app. It's also a dope app. I know that you guys, some of you guys that are in here watching this live, you've been in the app. So tell people how cool the Flick Sports app is. It's completely free. You can send me videos there. We're going to be talking about certain games and certain things. We're also talking about all kind of stuff, video games, sneakers, you name it, it's there. You also can get an opportunity to win $50 if you join the Flick chat. So we tried to do the Xbox thing. We didn't get 500 Flick members. We're still waiting to get that. But if we do get to 500 as well, we're going to go ahead and give away some money. There's also a Flick giveaway that they've got going on right now that someone just from their company just messaged me and said that they're doing a $15 giveaway for the Flick Picks. That's right. If you're not familiar with what Flick Picks are, if you haven't joined Flick, number 1, join Flick. Number 2, you're going to make your picks. The way that you make your picks is that Flick is going to come out with the matchup, and they're going to have players from the entire game. So right now, Bengals and Steelers, you're going to be able to pick who has the highest amount of fantasy points. There's going to be multipliers. So the first person that you pick, there's a multiplier of 5. Second is 4, 3, 2, and so on and so forth. But you can pick anyone you want. You can pick, I don't know why you would pick any squealers, but if you want to pick a squealer, you can pick a squealer. You can pick Big Ben and put him on your lineup. I'm not doing that. I don't know about what you guys are doing, but I'm not doing that. But if you want to, you can. And it's something that you can actually win $15 from this weekend if you participate in that on my Flick Chat. So if you want to get $15, if you want to get $50, be sure to join the Flick Chat for sure. And there's also some other stuff going on where they're giving away, I believe, $100 for people that take surveys on the actual app. It's a dope app. It's a lot of fun. People are always in there talking. So definitely be sure to check out the Flick app, and also be sure to check out the sneakers. If you want to pre-order them, there is a link in the bio for that. We truly appreciate the support. So before I get out of here, I will run through the Flick instructions one more time because I know some people kind of got here a little bit late. So I'll let that go. We'll go ahead and do the advertisement for the sneakers. And if you do get those, please be sure to tag me on Twitter and Instagram at New Stripe City. I would love to see that. We truly appreciate it. It helps grow this channel. And like I said, if you do become a member on this channel and you join this channel, you will receive some promo codes and stuff like that this week for those items. So please be sure to check that out. I'm Ace Boogie. This is Q&Ace, and thank you for having me. And as usual, I'm going to leave you guys with a who day, all day, every day, and especially on Sunday. So the first thing you're going to want to do is download the Flick Sports app from your app store. Once you do that, you're going to get prompted to log in. There's a bunch of different ways that you can log in. Choose whichever one suits you. Once you're in the app, you're going to have to add the New Stripe City Flick group. So you'll see that. You'll be able to search for it. Once you're in, you're going to want to find what is called the Q&Ace chat. Next, you'll want to read those instructions there. You want to submit a video here. You also want to give your name and where you're from and keep it between 15 to 30 seconds. And please, no profanity. Once that's done, you'll go ahead and submit that. I will get it and I will post your video on the show. Thank you.